Welcome to the Allied Air Power podcast, NATO's sole broadcast that patrols the full spectrum of air, space, and cyberspace. Wherever you serve, consider this your ground truth for alliance activity above the clouds, beyond the atmosphere, and across the digital domain.
Headline: Allied Air Command hosts annual NATO Partner Air Chiefs Conference at Ramstein. From September 18th to 19th, 2025, partner air chiefs and representatives from 14 partner nations assembled at Allied Air Command headquarters in Ramstein, Germany, for the annual Partner Air Chiefs Conference, also known as the PACC 2025. Chaired by Acting Commander of Allied Air Command, Air Marshal Johnny Stringer, partner air chiefs engaged in fruitful dialogue, sharing knowledge critical to future operational planning. The agenda for the 2025 PACC included updates from subject matter experts on the topics of agile combat employment, also known as ACE, counter-unmanned aerial vehicles, or CUAVS, and military partnerships. Colonel Kevin Anderson of the Joint Air Power Competence Center, or JAPCC, provided an update to the attending air chiefs. In addition, General Takahiro Morita of the Japan Air Self-Defense Force delivered an address on NATO cooperation from the Indo-Pacific perspective. NATO cooperates with a range of partner nations, and these nations contribute to several of its core activities, from shaping policy to developing interoperability and managing crises. Partnership programs also assist in the development of national defense and security institutions and forces. The Partner Air Chiefs Conference provides an excellent opportunity for partner countries to exchange views on air power-related matters. NATO's cooperation with partner nations contributes to shaping policy, improving interoperability, and managing crises. Partnership programs also assist in the development of national defense and security institutions and forces. Story by Allied Air Command Public Affairs Office. Published September 24, 2025.
Headline: Protective Fence 25 to boost Allied air power readiness with dispersed operations. From September 22 to 26, 2025, the Finnish Air Force is executing Exercise Protective Fence 25, bringing together around 50 aircraft and 1,200 personnel across Finland and Sweden. Finnish Colonel Vesa Mantila, Exercise Director and Deputy Chief of Staff at Air Force Command Finland, said, "The objective of Protective Fence 25 is to strengthen the Finnish Air Force's defense capability and readiness. During the exercise, we will conduct large force air operations from a dispersed basing posture, in line with our concept of operations. Protective Fence 25 will be Finland's largest live-fly exercise in the fall of 2025. Aircraft will operate from Finnish air bases, as well as from airports in Sweden. In addition to Finnish FA-18 Hornets, Hawk trainers, NH-90 helicopters, and support aircraft, the Swedish Air Force will contribute Gripen fighters and C-130 Hercules transports, while Denmark will also take part with Hercules aircraft. The Finnish Border Guard will add a Dornier Tu-28 surveillance aircraft, and the Finnish Army will join with ground-based air defense and electronic warfare units. Protective Fence 25 is coordinated with Terrasis, a United Kingdom-led joint expeditionary force series of activities taking place across the Nordic and Baltic regions in September and October. This approach reflects NATO's agile combat employment concept, dispersing aircraft and crews across multiple locations to enhance survivability, adaptability, and rapid reinforcement. Colonel Mantilla added, "By exercising dispersed operations together with allies, we strengthen our ability to fight as part of a larger coalition. Protective Fence 25 demonstrates our capacity to operate flexibly across Finland and beyond, ensuring we remain ready to respond in any situation." Story by Allied Air Command Public Affairs Office, with support from the Finnish Air Force and the Swedish Air Force. Published September 25, 2025.
Headline: NATO and nations defend sky during summits in Denmark. NATO and allied nations deployed additional multi-domain capabilities on land, in the air, and at sea to defend the sky during the European Union and European Political Community Summits in Copenhagen, Denmark, from October 1 to 2, 2025. The measures followed recent drone incursions in the country. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte said, "We have to keep our skies safe." He made the statement during a press conference alongside the President of the European Commission ahead of a meeting of the College of European Commissioners in Brussels on September 30, and before attending the European Political Community Summit. The two-day gatherings in Denmark brought together European Union leaders and more than 40 European heads of state and government to discuss a variety of pressing topics, including security, defense, and continued support to Ukraine. Denmark requested additional assistance to secure the events, prompting immediate deployments from NATO's Allied Air Command, or AirCom, and Maritime Command, known as MARCOM. On land, NATO dispatched a small team of ground forces and counter-unmanned aircraft system capabilities from the US to serve alongside troops and similar assets deployed bilaterally from other nations, including France, Germany, and Sweden. In the air, US Navy P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft conducted surveillance of the region. At sea, between the North Sea and the Baltic Sea, NATO's Standing Maritime Group 1 ship, FGS Hamburg, F-220, a German Saxon-class frigate, and the USS Bulkley, DDG-84, an American Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, both operating under NATO's Baltic Sentry maritime monitoring activity, patrol the Danish Straits alongside Danish naval units to defend the area from the sea. U.S. Army Colonel Martin O'Donnell, spokesperson for NATO's Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe, said, "The USS Bulkley represents a fraction of U.S. involvement in Baltic Sentry, as Europeans continue to shoulder more of the burden for their own security." More than 95% of the ships that have supported Baltic Sentry since it began in January are European. Several other allies also provided support to Denmark in a national capacity. While most of the deployed capabilities returned to national control upon completion of the summits, FGS Hamburg remains in the area to support Baltic Sentry. That activity, alongside Eastern Sentry, continues to deliver focused deterrence and defense along NATO's eastern flank, from the High North and Baltic Sea to the Black Sea and beyond. Story by Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe Public Affairs Office, with support from NATO's Allied Air Command and Maritime Command. Published October 3, 2025.
That wraps up this flight of the Allied A Power podcast, where news-driven updates meet the authentic voices behind the mission to defend every inch of NATO territory. Until our next sortie, stand ready in the air, secure in cyberspace, and steadfast on our path to the stars.